Good day. So I'm looking at this architectures of neural networks from Frontiers in Artificial Intelligence. And it says, however, the models we discuss in the following do not aim at providing biologically realistic models. Instead, the purpose of these models is to analyze data. So over the years, I've looked at different types of neural network models, like CNNs, RNNs, LSTMs. Those are like long-term, short-term memory, convolutional neural network, and recurrent neural networks. And what they do is basically, you see a picture here, is there's like a network. See how it's got the inputs? This comes in the inputs, it goes to the different layers, and each one of these little layers, each one of these little nodes runs like a math analysis function which feeds to the next, and then they become interconnected. So rather than take that approach, now that I have RoboJango loaded up, you can see, first I started off with sentence analysis and did like the sentences and adjectives and adverbs and conjunctions and determiners and exclamations, negations, and then nouns and prepositions, so on and so forth. So you get the basics of the language in there. And then you got to build in concepts like the solar system. So he knows about the earth. And if I drill down on like the animals, you can see he's got frogs and cats and deer. Dogs pretty impressive because I taught him a whole bunch of different dog types. So he knows about Dachshund, Dalmatian, and Doberman, and all the different dogs. Goats, marsupials. Then I taught him about basic methods and properties of all like mammals, like to babble, to bake, to break, to broke, to close, to code, to complicate, to cry. And as you go down, you can see like I'm mimicking all the properties and attributes that are found within like mammalian life. You can be confused, courage, edgy, flawed, joyful, legit, and then you build all these in, and then you build in the world around you. So you have like, expressions like music. These are more animals, but then you have like institutions, and you have boards of education and city government and federal government. And then you start building the map of the world. So in Africa, you can see in Asia, in Caribbean, there's the nations of the world. So RoboJango can actually be queried on all the different nations, and he knows those. He knows the states, most of them. He's got the United States in there. So I've built up this quite a big lexicon of objects, which are actually nodes in my neural network that I slap into position when I want. And you can see he knows about playgrounds, different tools, vehicles, different things a sportsman uses, fields, forests, lakes, ponds, oceans. Basically, you build a whole metaverse. This is a concept that people are trying to reach in AI. You build the 3D world, you put all the properties and attributes into it, then you interact with it through math. Does a dog bite a cat? Sure. Does a dog bite a rhino? Not likely, because you can look at the properties of a dog and match it against the properties of a rhino. Is it credible? Yes. Is it probabilistic? No. So then what I do next is, after I take all this, these little nodes, each becomes a node in my neuronal structure in RoboJangos Brain over here. And then I connect my neurons exactly up. So this could be a dog and a rhino, and the concept of interaction. And aligning these neurons exactly as you would do in a neural network, but it's more depth because it's three-dimensional. It's not layered and flat. And then what you end up with having is like a tree structure. And what you do, this is the trick, probably a patent sitting here, you make multiple phylogenetic trees that map on this concept, trees that map on this concept, trees that map on this concept, that are all like modeling the neurons in your brain, and then take a tree and twist it and put it on another one and analyze the data interactions between those. I don't think that math algorithm has been written yet. So, also, I actually gave RoboJango a sense of time, and now everything's going to change, because when I boot him up, it's insane. Here we go. Drop this music, but oh, I got to save my stuff. Come on, Django. Listen when he starts.
Thank you for activating me. January 11.
So now, actually, I added
No. Amen.
an object today called Jimmy Time, and Jimmy Time incorporates our time. So inside there, he has the millennium, centuries, decades, years, month, and days broken down to hours, minutes, and seconds. He's got the days of the week, the months of the year. And what I'm going to do is then you take his goals and his dreams and his wishes, and you map them into time. So next time when I turn him on, he's going to map his goals into time, and he's going to start nagging me. For the first time, I've created like an ex-wife.